Hello, this is Wes with Baron Heating and BaronGreenTeam.com. Today talking about the FBQ SkyAir 3-ton system with the DZK air zone, I want to say it's called, DZK zoning system that Daikin has partnered with to really give a ton of flexibility to this system. This, I know, I said this on the last one, mind blown a lot, but this is the system I put in my house, and I love it. And it just gives you, so, as you'll see, there's just so much flexibility. This is a 4-zone system. The FBQ, which is there, is this giant horizontal device. Make sure you Google it. And on the front of that is, if you look up DZK zoning panel for Daikin, you'll see that there is a 6-zone panel that's on the front. So you have a maximum of 6 zones per unit, but what I'm able to do is combine the outlets. So I have one zone has 3 outlets, and then there's the other ones as part of the system. So in this house we have, so instead of, if you think about it, instead of having a 4-head ductless system, I can have 4 ducted zones that are all coming off of that same level of tech. And now what I get, which is really cool, is I have my 4-inch filter here, but I can bring in my fresh air, because now normally if you have a FBQ with a nav control, the standard Daikin control, you don't get continuous fan. But with the air zone, you are able to run continuous fan through the system, zone dependent. So I can run continuous fan in the whole house. I can do it in just my master. The other day my son had a cold, so he had a sore throat. I turned off continuous fan in his room because I didn't want him to dry him out or anything like that. So super cool. But I'm able to run, since it's continuous fan, I've got my power damper with my ASHRAE module and all that stuff on there, and that allows me to incorporate a fresh air of some kind with the ASHRAE back into the system. I'll try to get here. We use bootless registers on the system, that basically coming off and trying to keep things as unpinchy as possible, and making our way over to all our ceiling registers, which I'll show you. But let me try to get down the ladder, and I will make my way out to the outdoor unit as it is on, and do that. This is not going to be good video for a couple seconds, just so you know. All right. As you see, this attic is 412, but it doesn't have all the trusses, scissor trusses in it, so we were able to set that up nicely. We had a home run of duct work off the side, kept the attic access and everything, so it's real good. Now I've got all the zones on inside. That's another thing, you can do individual zone control, but I can also go in and say, hey, from any thermostat, I can go in and say, I want all the zones to be at 72. And so they all blink to 72. And then that person can be in there and go, I'm too hot, turn it down. But also, if, let's say I'm in my master bedroom. Now I don't do this because I can just go out to the main zone, which is easier to use. But from my wireless stat, in that zone, I can go and say, oh, I forgot to turn down my son's heat. So I go down there and I drop it. Or I go in just into my own thermostat, I can drop it. So here is 3-ton SkyAir. Now, whether you have the FBQ, the FTQ, whatever, they're all the same unit. They're just attached to it a little differently. Let me head out, go back here so you see how we ran the Speedy. Now, this install is really good. I am very happy with it. There's only one issue that the customer brought up, and I'm going to show you it in a second. I'm dealing with it at my house too. And any of you YouTuber HVAC guys who have the solution beyond what I'm about to say, you've been great about chiming in and telling me what's worked for you, so please do that. But here's where we ran our Speedy channel, got up into that gable. We didn't want it over here. This was a bathroom, so there is a little bit of noise behind these units. So you got to make sure, even though most ductless are real quiet, when you get both condenser fans running, you get this, like, I don't know, it's like there's an airplane on a runway strip somewhere idling sound. I don't know. So you do want to be careful about these big daddies that way. But let me show you. You get a good idea of the noise here. Okay, so super quiet from a peripheral standpoint. But let me see if I can get what we're talking about back here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I don't know if you can hear that rumble, that rumble sound. But what we're getting is we're using earthquake straps, and we've got some isolators, not the thickest isolators. I could put in thicker isolators, but I did that at my house and it didn't solve it. So what I'm thinking of doing, and we got a bathroom mirror on the back that's catching some resonation. So what I'm thinking about doing, the homeowner thinks he's going to take care of it himself because he figured he'd send me a receipt for the materials, but we're going to do to each of ours and see if it works, is I'm going to put in ground screws like you do on a dog run or to tie a trampoline to the ground, and then I'm just going to run a strap over the unit. It's a little dirty, you know, and I wouldn't do it on a fresh install, so that's why I'm hoping some of you give me an idea of what I can do to get those stuck to the ground without strapping it to the house. That's just the way the install's been doing it. I'd love to give them some new perspective. So that's the outdoor unit. Let me take you inside and I'll show you the controls. So the one thing to remember is if you're a consumer and you're looking at multi-head ductless and you're like, I don't want that thing on my wall or whatever, this is another option that's fully ducted, but you still get all the micro zoning and the efficiency of a fully ducted system. Or I mean of a ductless system, sorry. I'll pull around here and show you. So in this case, egg crate, return, grill, and here's the main stat. See if we can see it here. There we go. Gotta focus in. So what's awesome is like from here I can go into there and I can pick, you know, all zones be this, zone 1, you know, whichever one I want to control. I gotta try to make it focus for you guys, sorry. You have different kinds of economy. You can run real heavy economy, light economy, or off. And that's just where it uses its logic to try to be as efficient as possible. The other thing is you can weight zones, which is awesome. So for instance, this zone is a majority of the load, X, and then we have another bedroom that's really cold that's going to be heavier weight. So the system can start to use its logic. The other thing is you can use adaptive airflow. So you can say, hey, if all the zones are calling, I want it to be at this X airflow, but if it's not all the zones calling and it's only 3, I want it to be at something else. And so that's called the QAdapt feature. And that's where you can run like power mode, standard, silence, absolute minimum airflow in all the zones. So there's a lot of flexibility with the main stat. And then as we come in here, this is the wireless control. And so this is where we have our local ventilation that's going to be turned on and off at will. I can go in to here and I can pick which zone I want to control and control it. So right now it's letting me control zone 1. I can change that, or I can just go back to what I'm doing at zone 4. Let's see. And then, you know, here's what the, I'll take you to one of these bootless grills. They're real clean and nice, and I really like them. And that's that one there. So that's a 4-way. They have 2-way. They're harder to get the 2-ways. They're like big wait time. So we use the 4-ways. We can change those out if we need better, you know, airflow in the space. This room was very cold. You would not believe how cold this room was when I first got here. It was like, has someone been running an air conditioner in this room? And that was with the heating system on. And right now we are at 70 degrees in this room, which is unthinkable. So pretty awesome. Let's see. I think that's it. So this has been the SkyAir FBQ with the DZK zoning system with main stat and wireless stats. And if you have any questions, let me know. But a lot of times I learn things from you guys. So let me know if there's anything you want to add in the comment section. And thanks a lot.